how did Charlie in his mid-20s go from playing video games and drinking all day to building an $18 million a year business in just 3 years? What attributed to his overnight success? Now, it wasn't always like this. A couple of years prior, after scaling his marketing agency to $100,000 a month, an unfortunate turn of events came sweeping through the world like a storm: COVID-19. Because Charlie's agency was for gym owners and all gyms closed down overnight, his business was now non-operational. And Charlie didn't take this too well either. For the next couple of months, he spent all of his time in a downward spiral, drinking and playing video games until 4 in the morning. And he knew he had to change. A couple of months go by and he starts Imperium Agency. And this is really where everything started. And in my research, I'm going to give you the 3 factors that led to his massive growth. Number 1 is market maturity. Well, what do I mean by that? Imagine trying to sell water in the desert. People are going to be thirsty, they're going to be desperate, and they'll essentially just buy whatever you hand them. But in a mature market where you're selling water in a supermarket aisle with 50 other brands already on the shelf, how do you actually stand out? And that's the exact question that Charlie has solved, which led to his massive growth in his business. He understands that the one thing that is going to allow your business to stand out is that the product has to be insanely good.
If you want to win and survive and thrive, stop focusing on short-term popularity and stop focusing on trying to seem successful and stop focusing on trying to, project an image and just focus on building insane products. Because it is the only line of defense you have against the march of entropy that is market maturity.
Especially in the oversaturated info market, you can't rely on clever marketing tricks alone anymore. And you can kind of see this as well back in 2008 when Dropbox launched. They were entering a very crowded space. So companies like Google, companies like Microsoft were already in the space allocating resources towards cloud storage. And that's when Dropbox decided to try something different. Instead of spending millions of paid marketing like their competitors, Dropbox focused solely on the experience of the product. Instant file syncing, a beautiful and minimal interface, and a simple sharing referral program. This referral program amplified word of mouth. For every friend you referred, you'd both get extra free storage. It went viral, not because of clever marketing, but because people already loved the product and felt good about sharing it. So here's what Drew Houston, Dropbox co-founder, said about this. If it didn't work beautifully, nobody would have referred it, no matter what the incentive was. And so Dropbox grew from 100,000 to 4 million users in just 15 months, almost entirely through word of mouth. And so a great product creates the only truly compounding marketing engine, word of mouth. The second factor has to do with the way the business is set up. So imagine a chef who runs a small restaurant. They experiment with flavors, handle tough customers, deal with supply issues, and innovate constantly to keep people coming back. One day, a few people say, "Hey, your food is amazing. Can you teach me how to cook like you?" So they write a cookbook. It sells well, more people ask for it. Suddenly, this chef is making more from selling cookbooks than actually cooking. So they close down the restaurant and become a full-time cookbook seller. But here's the problem. Over time, they stop cooking. They're not trying new ingredients, not adjusting to food trends, not refining their craft. Meanwhile, actual chefs who are still in the kitchen evolve, improve, and open better restaurants. The cookbook guy, he's now giving outdated advice, using tricks to sell more books, but people can taste the difference. That's what typically happens in the info product world. People quit the doing to teach. It works at first because there's demand, but the knowledge base becomes stale. They rely on more gimmicks than substance. And eventually, someone who's still in the kitchen passes them by. But for Charlie, his business does the opposite. He practices what he preaches. The better he gets at acquiring clients, the better he gets at teaching his clients how to acquire clients. And this creates a flywheel effect, creating momentum for the business and also allowing him to improve his product at the same time. And then the last factor is one that affects all of his lead generation strategies. Creating content, ads, or outreach without a strong hook is like going fishing with no bait on your line. You could be in the perfect spot at the perfect time with the best rod and reel, but if there's nothing to entice the fish, you're not catching anything. Meanwhile, someone else might have a rusty rod, a cheap reel, but they've got the right bait. And guess what? The fish bite. And so in your marketing, your hook is essentially the bait. It's what gets people to stop scrolling, click your ad, or open your email. If you can't catch attention first, nothing else matters, because nobody will ever see the value behind the hook. And that's exactly what Charlie does so well.
In this video, I'm going to walk you through the easiest, simplest, lowest risk business model that is the fastest way to getting rich and making money online.
In this video, I'm going to explain how to essentially fall in love with doing hard things and how to fall in love with doing hard work so that you can basically do what you need to do to get rich and become successful. I was 21 years old. I had to show my parents my Stripe and my business and my clients to prove that I wasn't doing anything morally questionable like selling drugs.
And this is what helped Tesla launch into the car industry. When Tesla launched the Model S, electric cars were still seen as nerdy, underpowered, and impractical. Most people thought electric meant slow or limited. Tesla needed to change the entire perception of electric vehicles, and fast. Instead of diving into the specs of the cars, Elon Musk and the marketing team leaned into a bold, attention-grabbing hook that reframed everything. The safest car in America, also the fastest. In a single sentence, Tesla positioned the Model S as not only practical, but superior, something no other electric car had done. And so, hope you liked the video. You could also check out the one I did on Ed Lawrence here.